Madam Vilma, this is my life. Hello Vilma, it's the 3rd of April 2015.
Yes, hello Chris. Yes, it is.
So how are you today?
Yes, not too bad, apart from the weather.
So we're going to talk about your childhood and growing up. And...
Yes. I grew up in Plymouth.
Yeah.
One of my mother was Cornish. My father had a Welsh background. Very good parents, I must say.
Whereabouts in Wales was your father from?
I'm not really sure because my grandfather died before I was born, so I didn't know him very well.
Yes.
But around Cardiff way, as far as I can remember, you know, but I wouldn't be sure about that. But he was called Griffiths, so that's a bit of a giveaway for Wales, isn't it? Griffiths. So, yes. My grandmother was Cornish, and she was always sort of into clairvoyancy, and also my great-grandmother. They were sort of clairvoyants, and I can remember as a little girl sitting beside a big roaring log fire, you know, and my grandmother sort of reading the fire in the coals and how they fell once the fire had been lit for a while. And my mother reading teacups and things, you know, so clairvoyancy has always been around me, but as many children, you grow up.
So what was Plymouth like in those days?
Oh, it was a thriving place, actually.
Yes.
A lot of servicemen, of course, you know, and you'd see all the sailors out.
Did you go out with any of them?
Yes, I did. Yes, knew quite a few, and the Marines.
Yeah.
So it was a fun place to live.
Yeah.
And a lot of servicemen or women who are watching this video, they will remember the days of Union Street and, you know, lots and lots of pubs.
Did you go to any of the clubs in Union Street?
Yes, there was a couple of nightclubs there, and, you know, you go and dance. And
which ones were your favourite ones?
My favourite ones for Saturday night were either the Duke of Cornwall Hotel, because it was ballroom dancing, and also the Prince Regent's. They had a dance hall in there, and that was all sort of rock and roll, and we were all into jiving and rock and roll then, and that's really all I thought about is dancing as a teenager. Going out, you know, and rocking and rolling in coffee bars, and that were all over Plymouth.
Plymouth is a very transient city. Was there a lot of outsiders coming into Plymouth in those days, or was there?
Not really. Only sort of Navy or Marines that had perhaps brought wives here, but it wasn't that many.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the sailors and Marines, a lot of them married sort of Plymouth girls, really.
Yeah.
Because they spent their life here, you know.
So, how many of your family were into clairvoyancy in those days?
Just my mother and my grandmother. I had an auntie as well, and she was into it a little bit. But we found that we could all do it, but some of them used it and some of them didn't. You know.
So, what was the best part of your childhood?
That's a difficult one. I think probably when I was about 16, 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what stood out then?
I think the fun, going out with friends, working.
Learning about yourself.
That's right, yeah. Worrying my mother because I get on the back of a motorbike and head off, and my father would be going grey overnight.
Was that with the local boys? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. So where would you go?
Boys. We used to go to a little clubhouse out to Yelverton, I think it was, out by the rock there.
Yes.
And the local boys used to go out there, and we used to just drink lemonades and Coca-Colas and listen to some music, and then we'd come back. But
so how did they treat you?
Oh, very well, yeah.
Do you think the attitude in the way people treat each other has changed, or?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think when I was growing up, I had the best time because men did respect women then.
Yes.
Nowadays, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. I get quite shocked sometimes when I see young lads and how they speak to girls and
as they walk past the shop in the Barbican.
Yeah, you know, and they swear at them. I mean, the lads in my day wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, it was a nicer time. I'm glad I was young when I was young.
So where did you go for your holidays at that age?
Usually only sort of Devon and Cornwall. We didn't go abroad.
Yeah.
You know, my father didn't. We weren't rich. We were sort of classed as working class.
Yes.
He worked in the dockyard. He wouldn't allow my mother to go to work because she had to stay home and
look after the children.
Look after the children.
So how many children was there?
Only me and my brother. My brother was 9 years older than me, so it was a big age gap there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened when you came out? When you got a bit older, what did you do then?
I got married.
Yes.
As most young girls do.
In Plymouth.
Yes. Had my 3 boys.
Yes.
Which the photograph is up there.
Uh-huh.
Which are all men now.
Yeah.
And still went to work, different jobs, you know.
You lived and worked abroad for a while.
Yes, I married a Navy man, so yes, we went to Malta for a couple of years, and then came back, and unfortunately we were divorced.
What did you think of Malta?
I love Malta, and I like the Maltese people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did make a Maltese cross.
No, I didn't.
Stupid joke.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
So,
yes, and the weather is absolutely stunning.
Is that
gorgeous.
the first time you've been abroad?
Yes, it was.
So did you find it a culture shock or?
Yes, at first, you know, and I thought it was sort of amazing, all this sun, laid out it too long and got horrific sunburns.
Mediterranean blues.
Yes. So I didn't do that again.
Yeah.
But yes, it was fun. And then my husband and I were divorced.
How long were you together for?
We were together for 18 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It is a long time, but we went our separate ways, and then I sort of did different things. I went to live in Spain for a couple of years. And
whereabouts in Spain?
In Fuengirola.
What made you go there?
Just bored, I think. Fed up with the surroundings in Plymouth, and you have these down days.
Yes.
And then I had one of these. I've always been a bit mad with my ideas, you know. Anything for fun, and I thought, oh yes. So I went on holiday to Spain.
Yes.
Liked it, loved it. Again, I like the Spanish people. I like their way of life. It's all outdoors, you know.
And it's all
nice
family
weather.
orientated as well, isn't it?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
It's totally different to over here now.
Yeah. And then I decided I'd sell up here because I had a little business on North Hill selling designer clothes.
Yes.
So I sold that up.
How long were you doing that for then? Designer clothes?
About 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did you get your stock from?
Mostly London.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was upmarket designer clothes.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And that's what you
upmarket.
and some of the stuff you were selling in Vamp.
Yes, that's right. And also I had a lady who made clothes for me as well, so that they were very different. They were one-offs,
yes.
You know. And she happened to be a very good friend of mine, and yeah, we had a good time. But then I got a bit bored and thought, no, I'll sell this up. I'll move on. And then I opened a little bar and a little restaurant thing out in Spain for a couple of years.
Crikey.
And then came back again.
Why did you only stay out there for 2 years?
Well, it's very hard. It's not as easy as it looks, to be honest.
Yeah.
There is a lot of, at that time, there was a lot of people who had the same idea as me about going to Spain, living in the sun and opening a bar, and thought it was easy.
Yeah.
But the competition is a bit much, you know.
Yeah, it's all or nothing again, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I mean, now holidays are all year round, but when I was in Spain, you didn't really get the holiday makers until the summer season, you know.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else.
So you came back
change.
So you came back after 2 years,
Yes.
but you had a lot of life experience behind you then.
Oh yes, definitely, yes.
Especially in the bars where you know
That's
people
right.
open up and you're like an agony ant to them all.
Yeah, that's it. And yes, and I do like people. I don't like to be in anywhere where I can't meet people and talk and have fun. And I am a people person.
Yeah.
And I'm a good listener. I'm a good mother figure, if you like.
Yeah.
Bringing up 3 sons has given me a lot of experience in that.
So your sons came after your trip from Spain?
No.
They went out with you, did they?
No, they were quite grown up by then.
Yeah.
And they were all, they were in different parts of. Dean was in Plymouth working, and Carl was in Devon working as a chef at the time.
Yeah.
Up by the Devon Moors, and Jason came with me, the youngest one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he seems very worldly and open.
yes, he's travelled all over the world. Jason, he's
Yeah.
done more than any of us really.
Yeah.
He's like me. He's got the itchy feet.
Yeah, I've still got that. Yeah.
Yeah, the wandering in the soul.
Yeah. So you came back to Plymouth?
Yes, came back to Plymouth, and I had I'd done a multitude of things really. Opened another bar restaurant, or managed a bar restaurant on the Barbican.
Yeah.
What else did I do?
How long did you have that one for?
I only had it. I only ran it for about 6 months.
Yes.
That was enough, and then I did different little jobs, and then I stayed home quite a bit, worked behind a bar, and then I went to live. I went back to Cornwall to live, and I married again. And I suppose living in the countryside, I took up a lot of craft work, and then I was sat there one day and I thought, yes, I must get back to my craft that I know well.
Yeah.
And this was the fortune telling. So that's been me up to now.
So how did you develop your skills in fortune
well,
telling?
my husband died, and I decided Cornwall wasn't the right place for me because my family were in Plymouth by then.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave Cornwall, come back to Plymouth, and do my fortune telling. And I was doing a little bit at home, and then I bumped into Gypsy Acora, which I had known for a lot of years, and he said, "Would you come down and keep your hand in and do a little bit in the shop for me?"
That's in Plymouth Barbican on Southside Street.
Yes. And that was 15 years ago. The time flies.
So how do you learn your skill in clairvoyancy?
Well, it's got to be there, because although you use cards or crystal ball or anything else, a lot comes from within, Chris, you know. You work with spirit guides and whatever comes in your mind, although people think, oh, she reads cards. So anybody could read cards if they got the book and they sat down for a few hours and had a good memory.
Yeah.
Anybody could do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had lots of girls come into me and say, "Oh, I read the cards," and they do it for fun at parties or things like that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, any decent clairvoyant would tell you most of it comes from within.
And you use angel cards?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Have you used angel cards all the time?
Yes, I have. I've always. I mean, I don't go to church or things like that, but I do believe. And I believe in my guardian angels, and I believe my spirit guides are there. And that is probably my nearest spirit guide. I think is my grandmother and my auntie, which have both passed, and I'm sure they do help me out when I get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you get your angel cards?
You can buy them online.
Yeah. So you don't have to have them given to you then?
No, you can buy them online. No, if I waited for them to have them given to me, well, I'd never get round to doing anything actually, because you have got to buy them, because when you work people, they get worn out very quickly.
Yes. Well, the people are the cards.
The cards, they're not the people.
Sorry, yeah.
It's me that gets worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as today you're in my home, I've got this little cosy flat, and it's very spiritual, it's very comforting, and anybody who sort of lives on their own or you know, feels a bit down, I always say surround yourself with nice things.
So this is you at 40?
Yes, that's me at 40.
And where was this picture taken?
On my 40th birthday party, which was held in a pub at Manamede.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the... we're almost up to date now, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So
and,
you've been at Gypsy Acora's for how long?
15 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It soon goes, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's
yeah,
longer than what I've been in
Plymouth. Far
Plymouth.
too quickly sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you pass when you pass 60, I think that's it.
I think when you get past 30, it starts going faster.
Quickly.
Yeah,
yeah.
But you've got so much information in your head going off.
That's right, yeah. But I mean, this keeps me young, you know.
Yeah.
I think anyone who retires, whatever work they've done, if they retire and just decide to sit and watch the television all day,
yeah,
that they will soon feel old.
Yeah. The body's a machine, you've got to work it.
You've got to work it, you've got to use it.
And use the brain as well,
Yes, yeah. Keep active.
Yeah.
It needn't be going out for a run, because I'm pretty certain I couldn't do that now, but, you know, I do go to town, I run around doing shopping, I like nice things to wear, this thrills me.
Yeah.
Certain colours, pieces of glass, little personal items, nice smelling candles, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you come home at the end of the day and it's perhaps miserable weather and you're feeling a little bit down, and, you know, light some candles around you, nice smells, and treat yourself to a bit of chocolate or something. That cheers you up.
Especially at Easter.
Yes.
I'm going to beast out on lots of chocolate over the Easter period.
Oh, yeah.
So, for a while you tried to go back into clothes sales, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I had
vintage
that.
and retro clothing style, which is Vamp in Plymouth Barbican.
Yes, in the Barbican again. But unfortunately, you know, I'm finding this a little bit much now because of my age, and I've also got some problem with my legs.
Yes.
So because of those reasons, with the health problem, you can call it really.
Yeah.
You know, I've got to give the clothing trade up. You know, so I've put that up for sale at the moment. So
where's that up for sale?
I've got it's on the internet.
Yeah.
Jason has put it on the internet for me.
It's the Pannier Market in...
And it's the Pannier Market in New Street.
In New Street,
Barbican on the top floor.
Near the Mayflower steps where they sell from all those years ago.
That's right. And it's called Vamp, and we're on the top floor. The website is already done. All the advertising's done. It ticks over quite nicely. And it's a lovely little shop. And it's about £4,000 worth of clothes in there.
Yeah.
But I just want a quick sale with it, and they can have everything that goes with it for £2,500, which is very cheap. So to walk into a business already there for you.
Yeah. Have you got any plans for the future at the moment?
No, just sticking to my cards and you know,
concentrate on the clairvoyancy again.
Yes. Concentrate on that.
In Gypsy Acora's.
Yes, and try and slow down a little bit, which seems impossible for me.
Well, that's good in some ways.
Yes.
You know, just keep, you know, use every day constructively.
Yeah. But I went to see the doctor this week, and he said to me, "Don't complain to me. All I'm saying is put your feet up and slow down." So
they always say that when you get to a certain age anyway.
Yeah, you do,
you need to slow down. My brother was telling me that a few weeks ago.
Yes, slow down.
Right, nice to talk to you anyway.
Yes, thank you, Chris. And I will be coming back again, and you know, with your good camera you have, and we will do like a monthly clairvoyancy as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And a monthly forecast for all the people who watch.
Look forward to do those with you.
Yeah, be great.
Thank you.
We'll have some fun.
Nice one.
Okay.